Let's say you borrow some money at a 20% interest rate and you make a payment at the end of every year. During the first year, 20% interest is added and your debt grows bigger. When you make a payment at the end of the year, the money you pay is knocked off your debt, which becomes smaller. During the second year, 20% interest is added again. But because your debt is smaller at the start of the second year than it was at the start of the first year, the interest, 20% of your debt, is also smaller. So less interest is added during the second year. If you continue to make payments, less interest is added every year and your debt becomes smaller and smaller, faster and faster, until eventually it's all paid off. In the last maths lesson, we saw that you can work out how your debt grows when you don't make any payments by calculating the interest for a year and adding it onto your debt at the start of the year. If you want to work out how your debt grows when you make a payment at the end of every year, all you have to do is add the interest to your debt at the start of the year, like before, and then take away the payment you make at the end of the year. And if you repeat this sum year after year, you can work out how long it takes to pay your debt off and how much interest you have to pay. Because your debt at the end of one year is the same as your debt at the start of the next year, the only thing you need to calculate is the interest for each year. Let's take the example where you borrow £1,000 at a 20% interest rate, and let's say you make a £400 payment at the end of every year. The first thing we need to do is calculate the interest for year 1. We do this by multiplying your debt at the start of the year by the interest rate. But before we can do this using a calculator, we need to convert the interest rate to a decimal. Dividing a percentage by 100 gives us the decimal. So 20 divided by 100 is 0.2, which is 20% as a decimal. So if we multiply the £1,000 that you borrowed at the start of the year by 0.2, we get £200, which is the interest for year 1. Adding the interest back onto your debt at the start of the year and then taking away your £400 payment gives us £800, which is your debt at the end of year 1. In year 2, only £160 of interest is added. This is because your debt is smaller at the start of year 2 than it was at the start of year 1. And when you take away the £400 payment, your debt falls to £560. If we keep repeating these steps year after year, you can see that less interest is added every year. So your debt becomes smaller and smaller, faster and faster, until you pay it off in year 4. In year 4, your debt at the end of the year, minus £76, is a negative number. This means that you've paid too much. To work out the correct final payment, all you have to do is add the interest for year 4 onto your debt at the start of the year, which gives £326. If we use this as the final payment, your debt falls to exactly 0 at the end of year 4. Adding together all of the payments from year 1 to 4 gives us £1,526, which is the total cost of paying off the loan. And if we take away the £1,000 you borrowed in the first place, we get £526, which is the total cost of the interest. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. Now, take a look at spreadsheet lesson 3, where we'll show you how to work out payments using a spreadsheet.